going to change the grip on my phone, see if I can block the wind from the mic. That was quite blowy. So yeah, going live today with questions. Don't really know what I wanted to talk about today, so what I thought I'd do is again ask you, the audience, people watching this video, to give me some ideas. So this channel now I've been using for just over a month to promote my GoFundMe, which is to raise funds for private cancer treatment, to talk about metabolictherapy.com, the website that I built for Bernardo, and what he's doing in promoting metabolic therapy. And also I've been helping promote his Cancer Warriors school.com group. It's SKOOL, just in case you're wondering. You'll always find the links in all my videos for these. Now, in just over a month of making videos, and I've done a few longer form formats which don't seem to get near as much love as the shorts that I put out. But I'm just wondering, what kind of content do you think people want to see? I mean, given that this is obviously really niche in terms of I'm promoting metabolic therapy, alternative cancer treatments, and groups of people talking about various different types of cancer treatments. It's not your average YouTube channel, and so I wouldn't expect to have hundreds of thousands of views or millions of followers or anything like that, and certainly not as quickly as a month. Nish what? Where am I going? Home. Hey Sin, how you doing? So yeah, my kind of question is, and to you guys out there, yeah, I said hi Sin, I may be a bit of a delay on that, but definitely you got your hi. But yeah, I'm just wondering, what do people expect to hear on lives? What was it that you were joining me here expecting to hear me talk about? Because I've spoken a lot about metabolic therapy and my cancer and my problems with the NHS and why I've had to try and raise funds to go private to get treatment. But I'm just curious about, is there something that you would like to hear more about? Something more that you'd like me to talk about? Hey Bertie, how you doing? I walk a lot. I do walk a lot. I walk most days. I think I've done about 35 miles this week. Maybe a bit more than that. But yeah, walking's great, especially walking in lovely green parks like this. And there's a bit of blue. It's been a bit of a grey day today, but we're finally getting a break out of some sun. But yeah, it's lovely out here walking. And I look just like your brother. Oh, my apologies. That must be rough. Hi Live Well, how you doing? Happy Tuesday. Glad to see you caught one. What do I know about intermittent fasting? Right, well, intermittent fasting it's a part of an overall strategy that you want to use to get your glucose and glutamine down. So by having a window where you eat of say 6 or 8 hours during the day, so if you ate at say midday and 6 p.m. and you ate just at those two times in that 6-hour window, then you've got 18 hours where your body is able to get that food digested and then start cleaning out its systems and resting. The outdoor duo, hi there, how you doing? 4 times. You live in a shed. All right, nice one, Danbreen. But yeah, I mean, intermittent fasting, it should be used in conjunction with other forms of diet. So you don't just want to be eating a standard diet with loads of carbs and sugars, because it's not going to do you a great deal of benefit. But if you can switch to, say, a ketogenic diet or a high-fat diet, and cut your carbs and sugars down, you get a lot more benefit out of it. So that's definitely something to look into. Where are we? I live in a cardboard box. So, I feel positively regal living in a house then. Oh, it's getting a bit dark in here. So does that help you with intermittent fasting? I mean, I can tell you a bit more about it, but there is details on the website, metabolictherapy.com. But there are many people on YouTube that do talk quite a lot about intermittent fasting. But one thing I will say is that it is something that we're actually, when you look at our history as a race, sort of periodic fasting is something that we did naturally all the time, because we didn't have abundance of food like we have today. I mean, that's only been the past several hundred years, which in terms of evolutionary history is very, very recent. And so our systems really aren't built for having just on tap food all the time every day, which is why we're getting so many of these metabolic diseases. I can't quite make out what those icons are, but yeah. Thanks, Outdoor Joe. Intermittent works for me, keto is too hard. Intermittent can work, yeah. I mean, it definitely has benefits. And yeah, there's definitely nothing easy about keto. You're right about that. A lot of people think that just jumping onto a ketogenic diet is something simple, but I was talking about that on one of my videos. I don't know if it's been released yet, but just the other day, I think it's probably coming out tomorrow or the day after. But yeah, ketogenic diet actually can be quite difficult to maintain. And if you, do I ever juice fast like Joe Costa? No, I don't juice fast. So the reason that I use a ketogenic diet is because I have stage 1 cancer, and effectively I want to starve my cancer of all glucose and to pulse the glutamine. And juicing is a terrible way of reducing the glucose in your body. There's far too many sugars in many of the juices that you'll get out of the recipes in the books. So no, I don't do any kind of juicing. Carbs are everywhere, which is why ketogenic diet is actually quite difficult to maintain for some people, because you're right, literally everything, if anything that you buy off the shelf virtually that's processed in any way is going to have carbs in it. So for me, to avoid carbs, all I eat is meat, fish, eggs, cheese, and a few vegetables, not that many. I heard you had slight problems with the Irish back in the day. What happened there? We've had problems with the Irish on and off over the years, but I think we're all right with them at the moment. I don't believe that we've got anything there. I've watched it. Yeah, I mean, definitely getting refined sugars out of your diet is something that everybody needs to do more of, because we're just not designed as humans to have an abundance of sugar on tap like we do. So getting rid of that is something that's definitely a big health benefit, and would recommend to absolutely anyone. I mean, the amount of sugar I eat in a week, you could literally count in grams on one hand. I mean, if I have 5 grams of sugar in a week, I'd be surprised. But I'm not saying there aren't temptations out there though. Hi there, Howie. I can't quite know how to say your name. How do you feel about me being able to bring back? Too many. Bring back to life from the dead. A local necromancer. Well, good luck with that. What does refined mean? Processed. Any kind of refined sugars are essentially processed. Okay, live well. I like longer content. I know love pics and dinner, stories about your family support you might want to share. Yeah, I have thought about doing more longer form content as well, but when I've been looking at the stats on my YouTube, they don't get much love, if I'm honest. Could be me, could be that I'm not a particularly good long format speaker, as it were, I don't know. Maybe I've not quite got the right topics. Not too sure about that either. But it's only the first month I've been doing these YouTube videos, so I'm still trying to pick up what it is that people are looking for. Do you think the 1969 moon landing was fake or nah? Nah, definitely not fake. There's no way they could have faked those landings. Actually, one of the best proofs for that I saw was actually done by Nvidia when they brought out one of their latest and greatest gaming cards a couple of years back. And essentially what they did, one of the arguments was that when the cameras were looking up into the sky from the moon, there were no stars. And given that there was no atmosphere and it was technically night, it should have been completely covered in stars. And when they programmed a simulation of the moon into the graphics card, what they found is that the exposure on the camera had to be so tight because of the sun's proximity that when they looked up there were no stars, and that was a computer simulated generation. And so when you consider the amount of computing power that one of those graphics cards has now, compared to what they had in the 60s as computing power, do you think they could have figured that out with pen and paper? Yeah, maybe a few bright sparks about, but I think all in all, the myth that the moon landings were a hoax, 100% busted in my view. But interesting little side conversation there anyway. What else we got? Did they film it? I don't know what that means. I remember it's been quite rough between the 80s and 90s. It was on the news all the time over here in the States. Okay. Any other topics of interest? Doesn't have to be about ketogenics or cancer or diet or anything else. What else you got out there, guys? You should do fitness, diet, running, etc. type of content. Well, my fitness is mostly walking, jumping on a trampoline and weights, so not that interesting. Maybe I could try and find a way to make it interesting. Diet, I've already covered on one of my videos. Again, it's very limited. Meat, fish, eggs, cheese, a couple of vegetables every now and again with fish, but very few, like 30-40 grams, really not very many. Romans 5:8, but God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Yeah, I'm not really up on my Bible verses, but I do find that there's a lot of wisdom in the Bible. So even though I'm not a religious person, I don't mind people quoting verses out of it because, like I say, there are some quite insightful stories in there, and I think the overall message that everybody should look to live a better life and help people where they can is quite a good one. Okay, see you, buddy. Bye. Nice seeing you. It's all good. We certainly are. Yep. So the UK tax system well and truly FUBAR, and we don't have the people in power to fix it right now. Our only hope is for another party to get in and hopefully have some better ideas. Yeah, well, they've got nothing better to do, I suppose. It's more of a reflection on them than anybody else. If it gives them a moment's satisfaction, hey, so be it. Yeah, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, eh? Are you in Canada? Well, there might be some people in Canada on here, but I'm not one of them. I'm in the UK. I'm about 20 miles north of London. So, right down in the south of the UK. Yeah, it's quite pleasant at the moment. So the clouds have finally broken. We've got a little bit of sun in the background. Too many Muslims. Yeah, we do have quite a diverse population. I mean, I don't see that many around here. There are a few, but yeah, I mean, one thing I will say, there's on any given walk, I mean, I probably go out every time I walk sort of 5-6 miles a day, and you overhear conversations as you're walking past people, and quite often I have no idea what language they're speaking. So there are quite a diverse range of people in the UK, and certainly around where I am as well. How far is your home? You've been walking for a while now. I'm about 15 minutes from home, I would say. Yeah, that's not really for the comments on TikTok, damn brain. Come on, clean it up. Lots of crime. Well, there's a lot of sensationalism about crime, I will agree. And I'm not saying that there isn't any crime here, but I think when you look at crime statistics year on year, and particularly when you take into account the population growth, I don't think it's massively up on the years. So yeah, I mean, the press do tend to focus a lot more on the negative than the positive stories, and that obviously includes crime. So yep, that is true. The UK is one of the worst for slamming down on free speech. Lots of people are getting put away for saying things that really they have no business being put away for, and I would say that's one thing where, in terms of our relations to the United States, we're actually a little bit in the dark ages. I mean, the First Amendment that the US have is definitely something that we should have something similar to here. Yeah, I've heard of the Tommy Robinson story. I know he was targeted and a lot of people are trying to get him released. But I don't know the full story. And you, Nishat, have a good day, my friend. Have a lovely evening if you're out anywhere near the sunshine. But, yeah, see you again soon. He's out now, is he? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, have a good one, Nishat. Take care. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. So it's not really something that I follow. A lot of my time, as you might imagine, is taken up at the moment with looking at things related to cancer and metabolic therapy and various alternative treatments. And just more recently, I've been looking to try and help, find people to try and help me promote my GoFundMe, to try and raise more funds for my treatments, because if I'm to do a full metabolic therapy privately without help from the NHS, it's going to run into several thousands of pounds. And so I've been doing the YouTube channel for a month now, and I've only managed to raise a couple of £100 on my GoFundMe, so it's running a little bit behind where I would like it to. But I'd say, I've had like 35,000 views on this channel. Most of that has come from shorts, and I think I've had about 25,000 views on TikTok from the videos that I've posted on there. And again, they're mostly the shorts that get the views. So I've had 55,000 views in just over a month on a subject that I suppose a lot of people might call not very interesting and not really for them. So yeah, it's interesting to see that there are people that do engage and do interact, but obviously I'm going to need a lot more engagement and a lot more interaction to raise the funds that I need to get the H-bot, the IV vitamin C, maybe to get some Don, and to keep on getting all of the various drugs and supplements that I need to try and stop this cancer spreading in me. So yeah, that's kind of where a lot of my focus is going at the moment. To somebody this evening before I started walking home, and she's having a look at my campaign, and she sent me a reply. So once I've had my dinner, I will be taking a look at what she said, and hopefully, if we're in alignment, I will be hopefully taking her on to try and got stage 1 cancer, and the NHS have only given me a single option, which is a really rather radical surgery, which is life-altering. I'm far too young, much more going for me than to be left with a stoma in a bag for the rest of my life. So that's why I'm looking to try and get my treatment. I've tried getting them to look at some other options, but because they don't consider metabolic therapy to be a real treatment, they won't help me with it at all. They won't help me with any of the tests. I mean, there's a test called, I can't actually, the actual name of the test. The company that does it is called RGCC, and what they do is they basically take a sample of your cancer cells, they grow them, and then they test them against hundreds of different types of drugs and supplements that are known to interact with cancer, and they basically find the best drugs for you to take to help treat your cancer. Now, to me, it seems like if that's a service that you can get privately, then surely that's something the NHS should just be giving everybody who's got cancer a standard, just to find out, which are the best drugs that are going to help cure your cancer. But no, they don't do that, and that test is in the £2,000 to £3,000. Right, back again. Okay, so this is popping out while I'm walking along now. I don't know why, because there's a tower literally a couple of hundred metres from me, so I suspect there may be a problem with the local 4G, 5G. So I'm going to call this one a night. Thanks everybody for popping in. I'll see you on the next update, and if you haven't, please subscribe, like this channel, drop any questions below, and I'll see you on the next. Have a lovely time. Bye bye for now.